In an increasingly dangerous age, our heroic Native American brothers and sisters have taken the lead to protect us and Mother Earth. Their inspiring struggle at Standing Rock, North Dakota, to block the Dakota Access Pipeline is heating up passions all over the planet and has brought over 300 Native American tribes together, the largest gathering of tribes in 150 years. Last night, my house in the California Sierra was shaken by an earthquake emanating 300 miles away in the fracking fields of Hawthorne, Nevada. Last week, 176,000 gallons of oil spilled in Belfield, North Dakota, only 150 miles from the Standing Rock camp. The Guardian newspaper reported in 2013 that North Dakota had recorded 300 oil spills in 2 years without notifying the public. Just look at the pipelines that carry dirty oil all over our beautiful land and know this: they are all leaking. And our oceans, lakes, rivers, and skies have become sewers of the fossil fuel industry. Consider the horror of what criminal governance and negligence has done to the Flint River and the drinking water of Flint, Michigan. And now we learn that because snow is melting in the Himalayas, 300 million Indians are losing their source of water. Look at the pollution these dirty oil billionaires have caused in our world's great cities: Paris, Beijing, Los Angeles. Do you remember the tobacco criminals and their decades-long denial of the deadly effects of tobacco? The dirty oil companies are walking the same crooked path, and we, who have all our skin in this game, need to end their vicious attack on us and our planet. Every one of us must become a water, air, and land protector. I was recently privileged to be included in a Standing Rock protest in San Francisco against Wells Fargo Bank, a pipeline investor. Then 10 days later, an amazing thing happened in my sleepy California mountain town of Mariposa. 200 of my neighbors who had caught Standing Rock fever came alive. Old, young, canine, wheelchairs. They marched, and no surprise, they were led by Native Americans. I've lived in Mariposa 16 years and had no idea how many Indian tribes were present in my tiny community. Southern Sierra Miwok, Chukchansi, Cherokee, Pomo, Mono Lake Paiute, North Fork Mono, Yokut, Yaqui, and others, a true United Nations of Native Americans. In all my time in Mariposa, I haven't seen such an outpouring of public passion since this man, Jim Landis, now 88, led a peace vigil in downtown Mariposa for 8 years. Not only did Mariposans march, many of them had gone to Standing Rock, joining over 17,000 water protectors. They exposed themselves to the severe winter and to the even more severe militarized repression by abusive police and National Guard. While the white Bundy brothers were found innocent of their armed aggression, unarmed, nonviolent water protectors, all of them American citizens, were maced and attacked by dogs and tear gas. Their camp was sprayed in the middle of the night by water cannons in sub-zero temperatures. They were shot with concussion bombs and rubber bullets, arrested by the hundreds, and hauled into court on false charges. Comedian George Carlin nailed it. America is an oil company with an army. As the struggle to stop the pipeline reached a crescendo, the cavalry arrived, just like in the old Western movies. Only this time, the cavalry of 4,000 veterans wasn't killing Indians, stealing land, and violating treaties. This cavalry came to Standing Rock to protect the water protectors and stand between them and the violence of the redneck police and military, who were, once again, intent on killing, stealing land, and violating treaties. Here is the inspiring snake of light as 4,000 veterans arrived at Standing Rock, creating a 3-hour traffic jam. If our corporate media were interested in giving this story its true importance, to a man, to a woman, these veterans would tell America the same story. They did not risk their lives in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan to create a world in which nonviolent American citizens expressing free speech would be attacked by dogs and racist police. A world in which police would put fellow Americans at risk of hypothermia and death with freezing water. Human life on planet Earth is facing one of its most dangerous moments. James Hansen, a top climate scientist, says an ocean rise of at least 9 feet is possible as early as 2050. What you and I do in the next year or two could well seal the fate of our planet home. This is not a moment to look away. Our tiny, vulnerable planet will not survive our ignorance, our disinterest, nor our lack of courage. The billionaire set, the one percenters, will soon have as their co-conspirators in Washington a cabal of climate deniers. This privileged elite lives in bubbles of private jets, country clubs, and private schools. They herd themselves in secluded estates, gated communities, and tower fortresses to be separate from the daily struggles of their fellow Americans, and in a futile effort to avoid the environmental consequences of their climate denying. As our fragile planet leaks, quakes, cracks, and splinters, this bubblehead group of climate abusers intends to go full speed ahead with unrestrained violence against our planet home and against peaceful citizen protesters who would dare block their path. They have begun an all-out war on our air, our water, on our entire ecosystem, and on us. It is war on steroids, war that will have grave consequences for every human being on the planet, even for the bubbleheads. But there is hope. A drumbeat for justice began in 2011 when Occupy raised a cry against the one percenters. The Fight for 15 took up the beat, and Black Lives Matter raised its own cry for justice, as still others defeated the Keystone XL pipeline and rallied to protect Mother Earth. The struggle at Indian Rock is an amplification of these growing cries for justice, as it is also, to the shame of our country, a continuation of the war on our Indian brothers and sisters that has stained our history for over 500 years. Make no mistake, this war has now been declared on every one of us. We are all victims, but our Indian brothers and sisters and those who have walked with them at Indian Rock have taken the brunt. We each must find a way to stand with them. In this dangerous moment, looking away is not an option. Look, we need energy to heat and light our homes and workplaces, energy to transport us, to grow food, to fuel factories and buildings, and we need jobs for everyone. The sun, the wind, and water power will meet all our needs, and renewable energy can do it better. Presidential candidate Dr. Jill Stein spoke courageously about the climate and our need for clean energy. She was the only candidate to visit Standing Rock and to offer a specific plan to protect Mother Earth. Jill says we must make our energy 100% renewable by 2030, or 12 million Americans could lose their homes to sea level rise. And she warns, 2030 isn't a choice, it's a must. But there is hope. A great movement has begun, and our Native American brothers and sisters are leading a big part of it, nonviolently, heroically. So put down the remote, America, and get your sorry butt out in the street. Our fragile, loving Mother Earth is screaming for help.